In October 2021, Mark Zuckerberg appeared in a virtual keynote and announced that Facebook's parent company would be renamed Meta. The name came from the metaverse, a virtual world that Zuckerberg wanted to build as the next version of the internet. He promised it would reach 1 billion people. What followed was one of the most expensive bets in corporate history. Over the next 4 years, Meta's Reality Labs division would spend more than $80 billion trying to build that future. That's enough to buy the entire Nintendo company and still have billions left over. And after all of that, Horizon Worlds, the metaverse Zuckerberg had been building, reached only 0.03% of the billion users he promised. By March 2026, Meta announced Horizon Worlds would be shut down on VR headsets, only to reverse the decision a day later. The platform would stay online, but without new content or development. This is the story of how one man's obsession burned through the biggest R&D budget in tech history, and why nobody showed up to the future he built. To understand how Meta got here, we have to go back to where the idea came from. The word metaverse was coined in 1992 by a novelist named Neal Stephenson in his book Snow Crash. It was a virtual world born out of a failing society where people retreated because reality had nothing left to offer. For 30 years, nobody outside of science fiction took the idea seriously until Mark Zuckerberg read it as a business plan. In March 2014, he bought a small virtual reality startup called Oculus for $2 billion. At the time, Facebook was a social media company. It had never made hardware and had no obvious reason to enter the headset business. Publicly, Zuckerberg said he wanted to start building the next major computing platform that will come after mobile. Privately, he had a more specific reason. A leaked email from 2015 showed Zuckerberg telling executives that Facebook was vulnerable on mobile to Google and Apple because they make major mobile platforms. Every time someone opened Facebook or Instagram, Apple and Google controlled the experience. They set the rules, took a cut, and could change the terms whenever they wanted. Zuckerberg's plan was to own the next computing platform outright, so he'd never be at anyone else's mercy again. In April 2021, Apple showed him exactly why that fear mattered. Apple is following through on its pledge to crack down on Facebook and other apps that secretly shadow people for the purpose of targeted advertising. A single iOS update, called App Tracking Transparency, let users block apps from tracking them. Most users opted out. Zuckerberg told investors the change would cost Meta $10 billion in revenue in 2022 alone. For context, that single iOS update wiped out more revenue than the entire annual GDP of Iceland. But platform dependency wasn't the only pressure. By 2021, Facebook had become one of the least trusted companies in tech. The Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018 had exposed how the platform allowed the data of 87 million users to be harvested for political targeting. Then, in September 2021, whistleblower Frances Haugen leaked internal documents showing Facebook knew its platforms were harming children and eroding social cohesion, but chose profits over safety anyway.